Okay, so we're going to open the December 19th meeting of the East Long Meadow Planning Board, and I have to announce that we are recording it for the minutes, and we're also recording it for LCAT. I have to ask if anyone else in the room is recording the meeting. Hearing none, we will proceed. First order of business is a public hearing on an amended special permit for East Long Meadow Center Village LLP Center Square. Someone like to tell us what we're doing?
Do I read it into the record?
Yeah, read it into the record.
The East Long Meadow Planning Board will hold a public hearing on December 19th, 2017 at 6 o'clock in the school committee conference room located in the high school at 180 Maple Street, East Long Meadow, Mass. The application is for an amendment to the special permit submitted by East Long Meadow Center Village LLP to reflect new tenants and parking requirements in accordance with sections 5.246 and 5.248 of the zoning bylaw at Center Village Square, located at the intersection of North Main Street and Maple Street. Information related to this application is on file with the planning board located in the Town Hall, 60 Center Square, and is available for review by the public during regular business hours.
So would someone like to tell us about this project?
Yes, sir. Good evening. For the record, I'm Rob Levesque from our Levesque Associates. Here with me this evening is Rocco Falcone from Center Village LLP, as well as Frank Fitzgerald from Fitzgerald Law. We're here this evening for a couple different special permits. The first one that you're hearing now is pretty straightforward, we think. In our recent field truthing of the subject property, we noticed that some of the spaces that were allocated and the locations of some of these spaces were in different spots and were developed a little bit different than the plan showed. So what we've filed is a special permit, really a housekeeping special permit, to update the original permit, amend the original permit so that it reflects what's on the ground. So there were a couple minor areas where a space or two were not constructed in one place or the other, but in general, the numbers that we were dealing with in the original special permit exist. They just are slightly different. Yeah, so that's really the gist of what we're here for. We're not asking for any changes to the existing parking under this application. We're really just asking for the permit to reflect what's on the ground. And it's been obviously operating successfully there for a decade or so.
So all we're doing is basically approving an updated plan
Yes, sir.
that
Yep.
reflects the actual
So we
conditions.
have provided that. The plan to our left is kind of a hybrid of what was provided before with some updated information. We've updated the parking counts based on our field investigation.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Lou?
No. I guess I have a question, really not for you, but for Rocco. So what do you see the future of Center Square, call it Plaza, being? I thought it was the original, well, I hoped it was the original intent that it would be developed somewhat like Long Meadow Shops. And not to be offensive to anybody, but I don't think a Five Guys kind of fits in what I'm thinking of to be similar types of businesses.
That's the next one.
That's not on the table right now.
Sorry, okay,
Yeah.
sorry. But maybe you can answer it anyway.
Well, I guess what I can say is when it was built, that was the spirit
Okay.
of what.
And for a long time it was.
Our vision
Yep.
was, okay? Things have changed, and how have things changed? The internet has changed a lot. Brick and mortar retail is really evolving, and what we're noticing is there's a lot more demand, and you look at any shopping center, the ones that are still out there, the malls are a thing of the past, they're vacant, where things are going into services, they're going to restaurants, they're going to nail salons, they're going to hair salons, they're going to even offices and accountants, and that's what's happening to a lot of these centers. We've talked to a lot of tenants over the years. A lot of them want to migrate together, and I think as a result, we've lost some to the Long Meadow Shops. But as we look at, retailing going in the future, and I think it's becoming more and more service-oriented, and I think that's what we're trying to stay current. We've had some vacancies in here. Our objective is to get the center vibrant and full, and we're starting to see, fitness, services, restaurants is kind of a way of the future that's filling these spaces, and that's what the consumer's demanding and looking for.
Russ, I'm looking at Maryland because, you know, this center is a tribute, I mean, to a cooperation between the planning board, the town, and
That's a great project.
11 years
Yeah.
ago. And Rocco's right, retail has changed. And we're fortunate in this center, we're not over leveraged, we can be patient. We've been as patient as we can. And there are other tenants that have come to us that we have rejected because they wouldn't be in keeping with what we
Okay,
think.
okay.
And so I think, and we think that Five Guys is a, you know, I know it's not on the agenda right now, it's next, but we think it's a reasonable tenant. We're talking to our good friend Bill Collins at Center Square Grill and made sure that he was okay with it, and it's a complementary use to his, so that we're you know, we lost half of a mattress firm, so I think this is a good complementary use for that.
So do you believe that by adding Five Guys that this would draw additional tenants to fill what vacancies you might have?
I think it would bring more energy, yes. Yep. I mean, they have, restaurants like to locate together. When you get 3 or 4 restaurants, they don't cannibalize each other. You're more of an eating destination. So we think that would help the center. And when people come in and look at vacancies in the center, they don't like to see vacancies in the center.
Okay.
Mattress Firm is a great tenant, but they have very little traffic. I mean, they you know, I've talked to the owner, and he can break even by selling 9 mattresses a week. You know, so but they don't bring a lot of people. Five Guys will bring some people.
Okay.
I'm excited about moving forward, filling your vacancies. I walk through there frequently. You know, as you said, the dynamics are changing. Brick and mortar is changing. We're moving more towards a social dynamic as to walking the cobblestone paths, if you will. So I'm excited if we can do this properly to move forward and fill some of your vacancies.
Hi, any questions?
I've been in the shopping center business since 1980, and retail's changing, so this is the way it's going, but it's really for the next public hearing.
At this point, I'll open up to the public. Does anyone have any comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll bring it back to the board. If there are no further questions, could I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. To have a motion to approve the amendment with the findings that the specific site is an appropriate location. Revising of the striping of the parking places will not adversely affect the neighborhood, nor as it's neither increasing the number of parking places nor increasing or altering the actual area the parking is occurring on. The reallocation of the parking spaces will not result in an increase or change in location of parking for the site, and will not increase or alter any nuisances such as noise, etc., safety hazards. The striping of spaces and painting of the directional arrows will provide the proper operation. There will be no changes in the existing screening by walls, fences, or other devices. There will be no changes to the exterior features or appearance of the parking area or the commercial use, and will not be detrimental to the surrounding neighborhood. The number and design of existing access drives and traffic features are not being altered, and the proposed use of the property for commercial uses with associated parking is in harmony with the general purpose and intent of the zoning bylaw and the district in which it's located.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
We have suggested conditions, which are in front of you. Conditions are in addition to any conditions on the special prior permit, and it goes on for 2 pages. These are basically boilerplate conditions that are very similar to the conditions that are on it right now. To have a motion to include the conditions.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So, we have approved the amendment to the special permit and with the conditions as there. There's one minor typo in here on number, where was it? We had R for area someplace in here.
Okay,
You can, yeah, under F.
F.
Yeah. The end of the
Yep.
first line.
Yep.
That's just a typo.
Left an A off.
Yeah. But when we issue them, we're going to have it correct.
Yep.
Okay, we've got a few minutes
We close the
before,
public
we close the public hearing,
Oh, that's correct, sorry.
okay? And we voted.
Want to do their waiver?
But let's go through the waivers in order,
Okay.
okay? Because we've got them stacked, and
Yes.
if we start moving them around, it's going to
And they're
get...
stapled.
And I also see that somebody from Gunther Rowley is here, so I think, so we can get that taken care of.
Waiver of site plan review, property owner is Gunther Rowley, Post 293, American Legion, Inc. Owner's address is 3 Legion Court, East Long Meadow, Mass. Phone numbers are listed here. Name of proposed business is Gunther Rowley, Post 293, American Legion, Inc. Owner of business is Gunther Rowley, Post 293, American Legion, Inc. Business owner's address is 3 Legion Court, East Long Meadow, Mass. Property address is the same. Property district is industrial. The allowed use has not been checked, yes or no. Proposed hours of operation are Monday through Sunday, noon to 1 a.m. Number of employees, including the owner, is 0. Date of last parking plan is see attached plan. Summary of business is Gunther Rowley, Post 293, American Legion, Inc. is a veterans organization supporting veterans, their families, and the community. We operate a meeting hall and a members-only bar and reception room. Meetings are held monthly, dinners and special events throughout the year. The bar is generally open from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week. Number of commercial vehicles is 0. The application was signed and dated November 28th, 2017.
Somebody here to address this from the Post? No? Okay.
Do you want this read into the record or not?
Yeah, please read that.
We have a letter to the planning board from Michael Flynn, Commodore. Dear Mr. Kingston, Gunther Rowley, Post 293, American Legion, Inc. was chartered in 1930. In addition to supporting the national organization and mission of the American Legion, the Post provides direct support to local veterans and their families and to the local community. The Post facility at 3 Legion Court provides a place for local veterans to relax and socialize. Monthly meetings, periodic dinners, and occasional barbecues bring veterans and their families together. The facility is available to support community events. The building was given to the Post in 1936. An addition was constructed in the 1950s. We have a meeting hall, bathroom, and kitchen on the first floor, and a bar and reception area in the basement. The bar operates under a club liquor license approved by the State Alcohol Beverage Control Commission and issued by the town. The Post is required that the liquor license be modified to expand the license area to include a 420 square foot outdoor patio enclosed by a 3-foot high fence. Attached is a request for a waiver of site plan review. The existing patio area and the proposed fence are shown on the attached plan. Please let me know if you have any additional questions. Michael Flynn, Commodore.
I don't see, do you have a plan there?
I have a plan.
Okay, so this is their existing patio, and they're gonna put a fence around it, I guess,
Okay,
okay?
makes sense.
You know? There is a fence around it already.
It says to be modified to oh, okay. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just a modification, it's not an
Yeah.
expansion.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. So, any questions on this one?
I think what they're also, they run the liquor license.
Yeah, that would be the council.
Outside.
That would be,
Yeah.
not us.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to make clear that the town council issues the liquor license and
Yes.
modifies it. We do not. We're just looking at the site plan.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion to approve the waiver?
So moved, with one noted thing I appreciate, if there's anybody from Gunther in the audience. This is typed beautifully.
Get the words right out of my mouth, Deborah.
It is easy to read. However, since the bar is open on a daily basis, I would just like, and there is parking involved, and this is a great organization for our veterans, just number of employees to be accurate.
I think the reason they have 0 employees is because it's a volunteer.
Is it all
organization.
entirely 100% volunteer based?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I have a second, by the way?
Second.
Do I have any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Before we go on, missed something at the beginning of the meeting. I'd like to ask for a moment of silence to remember our late administrator, Robin McDonald, who was the Director of Planning, Zoning, and Conservation for many, many years in the town, and who passed away over the weekend. Okay, with that, I think we should probably move on to our next hearing. Thank you.
The East Long Meadow Planning Board will hold a public hearing on December 19th, 2017 at 6:15 PM in the school committee conference room located at the high school at 180 Maple Street, East Long Meadow, Mass. The application is for a special permit submitted by the East Long Meadow Center Village LLP to convert a portion of the Mattress Firm to a restaurant in accordance with sections 3.07 and 5.2 of the zoning bylaw at Center Village Square located at the intersection of North Main Street and Maple Street. Information related to this application is on file with the planning board located at the Town Hall, 60 Center Square, and is available for review by the public during regular business hours.
Thank you.
So, identify yourself again just for the tape.
Yes, sir. Again, for the record, Rob Levesque from our Levesque Associates here this evening representing Center Square LLP. And again, this is the second special permit that we requested from you this evening. The special permit for this is basically for the change of use within the Building C. If you're familiar with the site, this is Building C here, directly adjacent to the Walgreens. So this is Walgreens here, and then we have Building C. Mattress Firm occupied this whole portion of Building C prior. There's about 2,450 square feet that we're looking to allocate to the Five Guys restaurant. As part of that, we had to recalculate the parking associated with the restaurant versus the retail use. So what we ended up doing is we ended up having the calculation allowed us to have for the, let me just find this right here. So under Building C, we have 21,472 square feet. Five Guys at 46 seats, which is 2,540 square feet. So that's 46 seats. One space per seat is 15.3 spaces. If you bring all the other calculations through that we had previously, brings us to 635.8 spaces required, and we have 636. We basically backed into that number to see how many seats that we could possibly get Five Guys. So that's the general calculation. We're not planning any site plan revisions. The site would operate as it does today, just potentially slightly more traffic just due to the activity with the Five Guys lunch and dinner type of thing. So that's the application before you. Be happy to answer any questions you have on that.
Tide?
I don't have any questions.
I'm good. Oh, just for the record, Five Guys does not have an alcohol license, right?
I don't believe so.
No, we do not.
Okay, thank you.
I have no questions at this time.
No, I know I jumped the gun. I just wanted to thank you for your for your thoughtful response to my answer or to my questions. Thank you very much. Thank you.
No, I have none. They were all answered already.
Now I'll open it up to the public. If anyone has any comments, please.
Hi, good evening, Marilyn Richards, 342 Pinehurst. Maybe the gentleman can answer the question, but is Five Guys considered a high traffic volume generator? Which would be 700 vehicle trips.
Yeah, we definitely,
You hope so.
Yeah.
it's not a town that we go into that there's a high interest in what we do. We produce, I think, a good product with good results, and we drive heavy traffic. We have, out of 15 stores in our present franchise, we have 2 what we call lower volume stores, and even those stores are pretty high volume traffic.
I think Ms. Richards' question is a little more specific. Do you anticipate more than 700 vehicle trips per day.
I really don't have that answer.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't answer the number of vehicle trips. I don't have any demographic studies on that.
Do you have 350 customers a day?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then you're
I
almost
can
700.
respond to my comments with the folks that we've been dealing with.
Just Rock, if you just identify yourself for the tape, because afterwards it's hard to...
Rocco Falcone, Managing Partner for East Long Meadow Center Village. When we look at traffic, we look at parking, the folks have been out to the site and they're comfortable. Because one of the things that they were concerned about is there enough parking to handle the restaurant. And when we talked about seats and we talked about parking, they surveyed it at lunch and dinner time to say we're comfortable that there's enough parking to be adequate for our operation. And then, what was my other point? Lost my train of thought.
I can chime in too. So based on what you have here for a plaza, right at the, right at Center Square with, Maple and North Main, we anticipate that, yeah, there will be a slight increase in traffic to the plaza, which we think is a good thing. Obviously, with a couple vacancies, we want to make sure that we're generating traffic to the plaza, having successful businesses. But that said, generally speaking, we don't anticipate that the change would necessarily, based on the ITE manual for traffic trip generation, would necessarily be that much of a change over the retail use.
I bring it up because this is a planned business development, and there is a 20% maximum gross floor limit for high-volume traffic generators for the project.
Okay.
And so, based on what's there, I just want to make sure that the change is suitable and handled well with what's already there.
Right.
And that's not a decision that I get to make.
But I did recall my other thought. My other thought was the seating, okay? When we looked at it, their request is as many seats as they can get.
Of course.
They would go up to 60, 65 seats. When we came up with the parking numbers and what we had available and the square footage we were given up, came up with the 46 or 48, 46 seats. If it gets under 45, they're saying we may not be interested in a restaurant here. The original thought was we cannot go below 45. So that was my other comment that I couldn't think of. And then to address your other point, is we think it's ideal to put them next to Mattress Firm, because Mattress Firm, being retail, is not a high traffic. And what tends to work, and we've all been there, Frank is in there with Rockies, is the health club kind of has their parking in the morning, the evening. Some of their folks overlap and go to Center Square Grill after they work out. Lunch with Five Guys in the evening when the town hall is out and Mattress Firm's light. And then even Walgreens is part of the, similar parcel. So over in this Walgreens area, we feel that Walgreens tends not to use these spots. They park over by the door. So when they survey these rows right here are essentially empty. In front of Mattress Firm is essentially empty for a good part of the day. So we feel it kind of balances out and is a good spot for them rather than over in the vacancies over here. So we pushed them over in this direction, trying to take that traffic in the center into consideration.
Any other comments from them? Please, stand up and identify yourself.
Jim Barthelmess, Glen Farms Drive. Question regarding, I don't know who would like to answer this, but I'm familiar with a few of your operations, I think one in Enfield, one in Westfield. Do you see your places as being as a hangout at night for teenagers or things like that, as a loitering spot?
Not loitering. It's a very popular after sports event spot. We get a lot of, in our local schools, we get a lot of people that come there. West Springfield, I'll mention that when they have the Olympia hockey arena across the way. We get a lot of traffic from that. But it's a very popular. Also, people do not just hang out at a Five Guys. It's different. It's not a mass media frenzy. It's a go there, get your burger, and go home kind of place. And I don't know of any places that I'm in charge of where people just hang out. It's not a loitering kind of place. It's kind of cool. for that reason.
Does that answer your question, sir?
Yes, and again, I didn't want this to be a negative
No,
question.
no, no.
I'm familiar with
Excuse me.
your operation.
If the gentleman from Five Guys could identify himself for the
Yeah,
tape.
my name is Rush Blankenship, and I'm a district manager for Five Guys. I'm currently in charge of 4 units.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
Anybody else? Mr. Page?
Ralph Page, 306 Prospect Street. Is there any thought to outside tables being located outside? I know Center Square has a little patio with them. My concern would be the number of seats. We've seen some places try and take a few seats from the inside and put them to the outside. Is there any thoughts of doing that at the moment? And if so, is it on the site plan? Because I can't see
Right,
from
it
here.
is not, so to clarify, it is not on the site plan. I guess if there was some flexibility in the event that these are removable seats in the interior, I don't know if the seats are going to be fixed. Are they typically fixed seats?
They are not fixed.
They're not fixed. So, you know, if there was the flexibility and they wanted to take a few, there is a sidewalk area. I can't imagine a patron use area in front of the building that would be more than a few tables, even if that. But if there was the flexibility, I'm sure that we would not have a problem with having that flexibility should they want to exclude a couple, 6 seats inside and bring 3 tables with 2 chairs outside, something like that. But right now, there's nothing specifically planned for any outdoor seating.
Well, we would definitely condition it that the number of seats that you're asking for, 46, is the maximum. So if you do put something outside, then you have to reduce the seats inside. It's this parking thing. And I know it sounds technical but we got to work a formula somehow.
Right.
And
Can I comment on that?
yeah.
We have sites with outdoor seating and sites with no outdoor seating. It's all zoned, approved or not approved, as well as, it's all included in part of the seating maximums.
Yeah, okay.
So we do have both of those in different areas, and, we don't need it, but people kind of like it in the summertime. But that's the only time we would would want something like that.
Sure. Mr. Page?
Just a follow-up, I just asked that if they so choose in the future that the board make them come back, because I would think bollards are something to protect the traffic from going into that area would be extremely important. And if it's one of those where there's an and or an if, like I said, I'd like to see it written into it. Where right now you're allowing the indoor seating, if they choose the outside, that they have to come back in front of it.
Well, that would be a change to the site plan.
Exactly.
And so we don't need to condition that per se, because it would be a change to the site plan, and it would have to come back.
You don't want outdoor seating.
Not right now. We'll come back if they want.
Any other questions or comments from the floor?
You cannot match this from.
Hearing none, take it back to the board.
One question, hours of operation,
We open at 11 and we close at 10,
7 days a week,
7 days a week.
11 a.m. to 10 p.m.?
Yep. We typically are closed on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
So we will put those hours into the conditions of the special permit.
Absolutely.
And again, if that needs to change at some point, you need to come back to us and we'll take a look at it.
Any changes?
Yeah. Any other questions from the board? Hearing none, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We have before us the request for a special permit. Do I have a motion to approve the special permit with the findings that are in front of you, that the site is an appropriate location, that it will not adversely affect the neighborhood, that it will not create increased nuisances, it has adequate parking, the restaurant is located within an existing structure and we're making no alterations to the existing screening of parking areas, no alterations or changes to the exterior features or appearance of the building, obviously other than signs. The number and design of existing access drives and traffic features are not being altered, and the proposed use of the property for a restaurant is in harmony with the general purpose and intent of the zoning bylaws in the commercial district in which it is located.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Do I have any discussion on the findings? Russ? No?
Answered my questions.
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and again, we have the general conditions that would apply to any restaurant, which have now been updated to include the hours of operation from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
It's number 11.
That's on number 11.
The one question I would have is on number 3. Now, I know historically, George and I have had this conversation, you wanted the special permits to run with a particular applicant as opposed to running with the land. Typically, they run with the land, and if you want them to run with the applicant, you have to say so. So number 3 gives you both those
sorry?
alternatives.
How does 3 read now?
Well, there are two
And/or?
options.
Yeah.
It's an and/or?
Either
Yeah.
it runs with the
Okay.
property
Yeah.
and is transferable upon a change of ownership, or it's non-transferable and issued to this particular applicant.
Right, now the issue would be, if it runs with the land,
Yeah,
and Rocco owns it now,
right.
and Russ wanted to buy it, if you made it non-transferable, then Russ would have to come back in and get a new special permit.
Let's see.
See, I was
Whereas if
under
it
the
ran with the
understanding that it
land,
already read that way, that it
Yes.
runs with the applicant, not with
It
the
does not.
land
Yeah.
on this particular.
In this case, the applicant is East Long Meadow Center Village LLP.
right,
And so I think that leaving it to be transferable would be appropriate. How do you feel, Russ?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. So we'll go with the
Sounds like Russ is going to buy the shopping center.
the first one.
You, Russ?
I just
enjoy going
You hear what he's doing there?
Do you need a partner, Russ?
I like going there. That's what I like doing.
We're going with number 3. The special permit runs with the property and is transferable upon a change of ownership or applicant, and any successors, transferees, or assigns must comply with all of the terms and conditions. Okay? So the rest of these are typical for restaurants. Do I have a motion to accept the conditions from the special permit as amended?
As amended, so moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Forward to
gentlemen.
seeing it open up.
Waivers next.
We have a waiver.
Before we do that, we have a continuation at 6:30 PM
Oh, yes.
for Figueria at 621 North Main Street. The applicant has requested a continuation on that. So we're going to continue that to our first meeting in January, which will be on the 2nd of January. Do you have anything else scheduled that day?
Yeah, we do. We have the zoning map
Okay, at
at
6?
6 o'clock. Yep.
Then we'll do this at 6:15.
Okay, you should actually open the hearing.
Wait, it was open.
It's a continuation.
From last time.
Open the continuation.
Right, so did you open it tonight?
We opened the hearing in the last meeting.
Okay, but then you
We
closed it.
continued.
No,
We
no,
continued
no.
it. We continued it to
Then that's
tonight.
fine,
Yep.
keep going.
Okay. And so I'm going to, at this point, just request the board, somebody make a motion to continue?
I'll make a motion to continue the 6:30 public hearing for the amended special permit for Fugacia.
I'll second that.
And that's to January 2nd at
6:15.
6:15. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thank you. Our next one, let's get on with the
Waiver.
waiver. Yeah.
Waiver of site plan review, property owners, East Long Meadow Center Village LLP. Seems like I've been in this movie before. Owner's address
Groundhog
is 40
Day.
Island Pond Road, Springfield, Mass. Owner's phone numbers are listed here. Name of proposed business is Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Owner of business is Hyde Park Burgers LLC. Business owner's address is 4 Ringgold Street, Boston, Mass. Property address is 42 Center Square, East Long Meadow. Property district is business and it's allowed use by special permit. Proposed hours of operation are 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Number of employees, including the owner, is 20. Date of last parking plan is November 27th, 2017. Summary business is typical Five Guys selling hamburgers, hot dogs, fries, sodas, and milkshakes. The application has been signed and dated November 20th, 2017.
The only thing I'm not sure is why we're filing for a waiver of site plan since we just approved the site plan.
No.
We were amending the special permit. I think we all thought that we needed a waiver of the site plan because it's my understanding it's required when a new tenant goes in.
Yeah, it's a separate application.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do have the new tenant going in, so we've submitted the request for the site plan waiver. We're not making any changes, so I think it was just the procedural.
I mean, for instance, if a garden center was going in and the garden center decided they want to have outdoor storage and displays and stuff, that would be a modification. You probably want a site plan.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
this
so in the.
is
I'm
the
sorry,
technicality.
excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do I have a motion to approve the waiver?
Motion to approve?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay, so that's done. You're good to go.
Have a great night.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, folks.
Okay, we have some additional things to deal with, and then we can get into the issue of the adult space. What do we have? We have,
You got another waiver?
We have another waiver
we have
for
Lex
Leaks
Spa. Yeah.
Lex
Spa. A waiver of site plan review. Property owner is Andrea S. Martin. Property's address is 84 Willowbrook Road, Long Meadow, Mass. Phone numbers are listed here. Name of proposed business is Lex Spa. Owner of business is Samachi Daniels. Business owner's address is 22 Cooley Street, Agawam, Mass. Property address is 13 Gerald Ave, East Long Meadow, Mass. Property district is business. It's an allowed use. Proposed hours of operation are 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Number of employees, including the owner, is 1. Date of the last parking plan is not applicable. Summary of business operation is facials, eyelash extensions, nails, and body waxing. The application has been signed and dated December 6, 2017.
And this is an existing salon, new guy going in to rent a booth.
Ownership change. Oh, rent a booth.
Rent a booth.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Motion to approve?
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We have a A&R for Herrick. Can we have the plan?
Yeah, I don't see the plan here. I think I must have left it, either fell out in my car or I left it in the office when I left yesterday.
Okay.
So I don't have that. But George and I did go over it.
Why don't you read that?
Okay, application for endorsement of plan, believed not to be required, the date is December 4th, 2017. Applicant is Chad Herrick. Address is 194 Summers Road, East Long Meadow, Mass. Name of engineering or surveyor is Daniel O'Brien and Smith Associates Surveyors, 46 Baldwin Street, East Long Meadow. Phone number is listed here. Deed of property recorded in Hampden County Registry of Deeds is book 20422 and book, I'm sorry, let me read this differently. Book 20422, page 199, lot 33, and book 21617, page 520, lot 32. Number of existing lots is 2. Area of existing lot or lots, lot 32 is 3.089 acres. Lot 33 is 3.273 acres. Frontage of existing lot or acres, lot 32 is 100, lot 33 is also 100. Number of proposed lots is 3. Minimum frontage of proposed lots is 50. All right. Paragraph A, not a building lot. Okay, paragraph A is not a building lot?
Or parcel.
Parcel A is not a building lot, excuse me.
Yes.
It's an abbreviation here. Area of proposed lots is 32 R, 6,100 square feet. Lot 33R is 64,220 square feet. A is 152,831 square feet. Required frontage located is on Summers Road. The street is an accepted way. It's a way on an endorsed subdivision plan. The lot is not intended as a building lot. Okay. Existing assessor's map and lot information for lot identification. Map 40, lot 33. Map 40, lot 32. Existing lot is 12-33, 190 Summers Road, and 13-32, 199 Summers Road. It's either a 9 or a 4, I can't read the writing here. Proposed lot identification plan is parcel A, lot 32R, and lot 33R. The application was signed. The address is 199 or 194 Summers Road, East Long Meadow, and the phone number is listed here.
Yeah, that's probably enough.
Okay.
Is Mr. Herrick here?
Yeah.
Could I come up and-
194.
And tell us a little bit about what you're trying to do here.
Okay, so currently I own 190 and 194 Summers Road, which you'll see on the parcels. What we're looking to do is basically create parcel A, which uses the 200 feet of frontage, and would create the square footage that you saw, parcel A, which can be accessed by Jeffrey Lane, which is a public way off of St. Joseph Drive.
That's a paper street now.
It is a paper street now, yes,
Right.
except it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not a building lot? even though you
It's
can't-
not, we're not
Okay.
looking to create this as a building lot.
Right.
Right now, we're looking to, it is zoned residential, we're looking to break it off as a possibility in the future to do so.
Right.
I would still be the owner and name holder on the deed.
Yeah.
But that's what we're looking to do.
So you have two abutting
Property.
existing lots, with each has a house on it, they're very, very deep. So they're cutting off the back of the two lots, creating one lot out of that, and that's frontage
Yes,
on
the plan should be here, we did provide.
Fortunately, they're
The
not.
plan is probably sitting back on my desk.
Okay, and he's correct, there are abutting lots with 100 feet of frontage on Summers Road each, creating the depth off Jeffrey Lane to be 200 feet in from the town.
So basically what this is, there are two lots just north of St. Joseph Lane on Summers. It's cutting off the back end of them to make a 6-acre parcel.
It's
Give or
gonna be,
take.
I'm sorry, it's gonna be like 3.6. Currently, the
3.6.
two together
Okay.
are approximately 6.6
Yeah.
acres, so each house will retain just over an acre of land.
Okay.
Making parcel A, which you see in the paperwork, to be about 3.5 or so acres.
Okay, so you have about 3.5 acres. This is Residence A, which is half-acre zoning. Okay, so there's potential for maybe 6 lots back there, you know, depending on how, if someone wanted to subdivide it and put a street in. There is a paper street to access it, which, you know, but right now it has 0 frontage, okay, on a way that is paved. So it's not a building lot. It would have to have a road put into it
So it meets all the check marks for an A&R.
for an A&R. Okay. Any questions?
I'm just trying to visualize this in my mind without a plan.
Right, I
I
mean,
could draw it out.
A&Rs are
quickly if you'd like.
pretty cut and dry, and I'm sure it's all on the up and up, and you'll have to
Yes.
forgive us.
Can you access
And
the
unfortunately, I-
GIS?
But
I can, oh yeah, I can pull it up here.
I'm,
Pull up there.
Yeah, you can either bring up a map or I can quickly.
I can pull up
Without
the
a
map
sketch.
on the town GIS.
Yes, and it's pretty, like I said, cut and dry on the,
and the narrative on the property division, it says see note number 1 on plan, was that what you just went through?
Yes.
Yes. No differences?
Okay, so we're looking at what, it's Summers Road.
Yeah. So what we're basically looking to do is, if this is Summers Road, and this is St. Joseph Drive, this is 190, 194 Summers Road. We're basically putting a line back here, and there is a private way here, Jeffrey Lane, that meets this property here, off of St. Joseph Drive.
All right.
Which she's gonna pull up.
There's enough frontage for all this.
We got,
Yeah, on
yeah.
that
The
way,
the
yes.
existing frontage is non-conforming.
They're already
Correct,
considered
yeah.
non-conforming, so
Correct.
that has not been altered.
Yes.
Right.
It's not being
But they
altered.
both have the minimum.
Okay, so
requirements.
here's the, gather around the
Wow, those are long
computer.
lots.
Yep.
And what they're doing is they're cutting off the back end of that. There's a
Okay.
potential access here off of.
Paper Street,
What's
correct?
called Jeffrey Lane. It's a paper street. And it's not paved right now.
It is
So-
paved.
It is paved.
It does meet the width and requirement for a lane.
Okay, but I'm sorry, on the town GIS, it's not shown as being
Okay,
paved, so.
yes, okay.
Okay.
It is paved, there's actually storm drains at the corner of Jeffrey Lane and St. Joseph Drive.
And
Can you
is it-
show me
it's
where the
pretty-
cutoff
Is
would
it
be?
paved to the edge of your
roughly?
property?
Yes, it is. right up to the
Can you show us
property, yes.
roughly where the cutoff would be on
Oh,
this?
sure. So actually, unfortunately, we don't have the plan here,
Yeah.
but the cutoff is about between, we're calling this lot 6 and 7, there's 8 lots that line here, so the line would be about here. It's a bit off here, it's a bit triangulated, but
Yeah.
there'd be plenty of room for accessing here.
And what would be the total acreage combined in
In
this
parcel
area?
A, about 3.5 and change.
3.5, and
acres.
parcel B and C would maintain?
About an acre and a quarter.
Okay,
Yeah.
dividing
so
basically
the-
roughly the six acre
Yes, yeah.
total combining area of parcels.
Correct,
About-
correct. Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, it's a little more than half.
Yes,
Yeah.
a little bit more than
Yeah.
half, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
But basically, you would be conforming on area, but not on frontage on those two lots.
On,
The existing lots.
On the two new lots up front, okay?
yes,
Would be conforming on area. They're going to be at
Correct.
least half an acre.
Yes.
But not on frontage, because.
yeah, because basically of the way that they were originally,
Yeah.
we're not trying to change any boundary
Right,
lines.
Right.
But they're not
that-
becoming less
They're
detrimental.
not becoming less,
But
absolutely
less-
not.
Less
Correct.
conforming, that's
Yes.
the point. Okay.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
sure.
No, it's one of those technicalities that we worry about.
Yes.
Okay, so to have a motion to approve this, if no other discussion, does everybody understand what we're talking about now? To have a motion to approve it,
Move to approve.
to have a second,
Second.
okay? Any further discussion? You know, I mean,
I would like,
yeah.
I would like to say that it seems very cut and dry,
Yeah.
and our severe apologies that we don't have the plan in front of us, but I'm going to make my motion with some reservation, not having the plans in front of us. And I would like to note that we should really move forward to a PDF.
Yes.
So we can see
I
these
mean-
and we're all informed if this ever happens again.
Part of the problem was, there's no excuse, part of the problem is they're reorganizing our office,
Understood.
and they're
but-
moving it, and so stuff is all over the place. So where it was in the file that I thought it was when I grabbed it, it was not there, so.
Okay, very good,
But yes, you're right about the PDFs.
okay. Having said that, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so you're good to go.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, board.
Very good.
Thank you for explaining so clearly.
Yes, no problem. Sorry for the terrible
No,
sketch.
it's not, no,
I'm
no.
not an artist by trade.
It was good. It was
Thank
good
you.
enough.
So we now have requests for waiver of site plan and signage for arenas.
I knew this was gonna happen.
You can't say, you can't pronounce it?
Yeah, we have a lot of Russian names here. They're printed nicely, though.
That's Sean.
Thanks. Waiver of site plan review, property owner is Sean Enterprises LLC. Owner's address is 100 Shaker Road, East Long Meadow, Mass. Telephone numbers are listed here. Name of proposed business sites are Arenas. Owner of business is Valamir and Irina Kulinook. Property owner's address is 19 Peachtree Road, East Long Meadow, Mass. Property address is 100 Shaker Road, East Long Meadow. Property district is business, it's an allowed use. Closed hours of operation are 9 to 5. Number of employees, including the owner, is 6. Summary business is clothing, alterations, custom window treatments. Number of commercial vehicles is 1. The application's been signed and dated December 11th, 2017. That's it.
So they're relocating from the Romito's building down onto Shaker Road. Into an existing building. So there's a motion to approve the waiver.
Well, I have a question.
Well, let's get a motion, then we can, then we
So
can
moved.
question and discuss. Do I have a
Second for discussion.
Okay, now, for discussion.
So are you replacing a business that closed in that location?
No, there's no, it's vacant right now.
If you identify yourself for the tape, please.
Vladimir Kulanik, I'm a co-owner of the business. And 19 Peachtree Road. Right now, there are 3 tenants, one landlord, actually not tenant, and 2 tenants in front. The medical office, the dental, that's in the back of the building, they own the property. And 2 units they're leasing in front. One is a hair salon, visual changes, and the other one is vacant.
Oh, okay.
we're
So you're
taking
the vacant space.
Vanilla box, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Pretty straightforward, retail in a retail building. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. We have a signage request.
Business name and address is Irina's, 100 Shaker Road, East Long Meadow, Mass. Business owner's address is Valamir and Irina Kulinook, 19 Peachtree Road, East Long Meadow, Mass. Property owner address is
Sean.
Sean Enterprises, 100 Shaker Road, East Long Meadow, Mass. Phone number is listed here. Square footage of proposed sign is 10 square feet. The freestanding no, height above the ground is 15 feet. It is attached to the building. Freestanding no. Okay, got it. Projection, if any, not applicable. Distance to top of sign, not applicable. Permanent sign, yes. Non-illuminated. Number of existing signs is 1. Total square footage of existing signs is 10 square feet. Number of proposed signs is 1. Total square footage of proposed signs is 10 square feet. Total square footage of proposed and existing signs is 20 square feet. The sign application's been signed and dated. The cost is $800.
Maybe a better picture in there? No?
Yeah, that's
No.
a duplicate. This might be slightly better.
Yep, that's good. I guess my question is, you're saying 2 signs. Your business only has 1 sign, right?
Yeah, there is this freestanding sign, which the landlord will give us a space on, but it's been approved. They have their phone listed on it right now, so that we'll just replace it.
But we're really talking 2 signs, right?
Yeah, one on the stanchion and one on, where they're going
Right.
to replace the existing sign, and one where they're putting a new sign over the door.
For the, over the doors, there is just empty space right now, so we
Yep.
just put in the metal lettering on it.
Yep.
There is no electricity there, so it's not illuminated. And for the freestanding sign, we're just replacing their,
It's a
plastic.
tag sign almost,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Right, so being at this, you had your 20 square feet, that's well under 80 square feet.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
plenty
You're
of
good to
frontage.
go there. Okay. Any further questions?
Can I just make one, you are already approved for your site plan, but the hours of operation are 9 to 5. How many days a week?
5 days a week,
5 days a week?
and the Thursday 9 to 6. And
Okay.
And Saturday half day, it's like 9 to 1.
Anything else?
Motion to approve the sign
Do I have a second?
permit?
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Then we have one more request for signage for the East Long Meadow Veterans Memorial.
Business name and address is East Long Meadow Veterans Memorial. Here, Donna, why don't you answer this one? Committee, okay. Business owner's name and address is 3 Legion Court, East Long Meadow, Mass. Property owner's name and address is Council on Aging, 328 North Main Street, East Long Meadow. Contact person is Terry. Help me out here
That's why I
again.
spelled it out. Let's go.
Let's go. Okay. Square footage of proposed signs is 15 square feet. Freestanding, yes. Height above the ground is 6 feet. Attached to the building is no. Setback from property line is 25 feet. Distance to top of wall not applicable. Sign is temporary. It is not illuminated. Number of existing signs is 1, which is senior center. Application's been signed. The estimated cost is $500. About it, I guess.
So this is a temporary sign. As you may have heard, they are planning on putting together a Veterans Memorial in front of the building, and this was just a temporary sign to let people know where it's going to be.
Are they requesting a limit or a time frame for their temporary sign?
How long will
They
this
ha-
take?
Is there anyone here can speak to this? No?
Did they check out temporary on there?
They
It
did.
says
Temporary, but it doesn't say for how long.
temporary right there.
Okay.
But it doesn't say for how long. I know they're still fundraising,
Yes.
so
Maybe grant some leeway.
I would suggest 6 months.
I would concur.
I'd say that's pretty generous.
Yes. It's very generous.
My question was where in the front of the building it's going to be
It's going to be
located?
like in the center of the front of the building practically.
So there are several signs there, I think, already.
There's the
So-
the sign that says it's a senior center, and it's got movable, I think it's got movable letters on it.
Yeah.
I believe it's going where the memorial's going to be going.
Which is, but it's gonna be in front of the building.
Yes, in front of the building.
Facing North
It
Main
meets the
Street.
setback, the front setback requirement.
Well, will it be on Legion Court?
No,
No.
this is gonna be in front
right,
of the
exactly.
No, it's the
senior
senior
center.
In front of the senior center, for the Council on Aging.
Yeah.
I'm all for it, I think it's a very worthy project, but I would hope that maybe with some direction from you, they
Mhm.
could make sure that they're not visually impairing the other signs
Right.
that are there.
Yeah.
So hopefully you could
And this will be.
use your good offices to do that. So-
This will be subject to the approval of the building commissioner.
Yep.
So that will make sure he'll make sure the setbacks are correct and that
Yep.
we're not blocking anybody's view coming out of the parking lot.
Now, I hope the memorial isn't blocking the senior center signs.
Well, we'll see that when they file for the memorial. Okay. Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now the business at hand. Do you have the GIS with us? Or, I'm going to suggest, the way we approach this is as a committee of the whole, so that we can discuss it and come to a consensus without going through a dozen motions and counter motions and everything else.
So moved.
To begin with, my understanding is that our issue is primarily what zone to place this in, and maybe we'll push this down that way some so you guys can see, and what the setbacks would have to be, okay? So this is a GIS that was generated by DPW, and it shows the 1,000-foot buffer from churches, parks, and residential 500-foot. And what it shows is that basically, the only place that this is going to fit is in the industrial garden park, okay? Either in Deer Park or in the area from, on the north side of Denslow up to up to industrial. Okay, it's just white area here. Okay, now there is room, empty space in Deer Park still, and there are a number of buildings, obviously some of which may or may not be willing to make room for something like this in that area. Okay, there is, for instance, a building here that has got multiple tenants in it on Denslow right now. There are businesses on Benton that have multiple tenants in them.
Quite a few.
Or someone could actually, open put up a building or buy a building if they wanted to do that. But it is a fairly large area. There are parcels available there, and it would make possibly good sense, I think. Remember, this is not,
And it would alleviate the residential concerns
Right,
for
exactly.
for the most part.
exactly. And it would, it's not allowing retail per se, it's allowing a very specialized type of retail, which is a separate use than general retail.
Still under special permit.
Still under special permit.
So how logistically would we do this? Would we have to amend the zoning ordinance to allow a specific use in the industrial garden park?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And specifically, the new zoning bylaw that we've been talking about originally was drafted as being in business use only. We changed that zone from business zone to industrial garden park and used the setbacks of 1,000, 1,000, and 500 from residential because it's not near a residential zone anyway. So that doesn't really impact residential zones in town.
So what you'd be doing is amending your table of uses to list in here adults as you define it. And then you would be prohibiting it in all the districts except for
The industrial garden park.
Industrial garden park, where it would be by special permit site plan approval. and then you'd be adopting this section under your special permit requirements that talk about all the setbacks and all the specific design requirements.
Which is more the boilerplate issues.
And-
I'm sorry, go
No,
ahead.
go ahead.
My question is, this must be blue because of the park that's located in
Long Meadow.
Long Meadow. Does that qualify as a park since it's not in our town?
That's a good question, and depends on how the ordinance is actually written.
That's a very good question, because we're taking into other, other border perimeters with this
Yeah.
park area, which there is an adjacent. No, that's a, well, correction. Okay, there is a park here. Over here would be town-owned and then private. So there is a recreational facility
Yeah.
on this side of the street,
Yes, there is.
across from the tennis club.
Yep.
So the question would be, do you want the buffers to only apply to East Long Meadow?
Yes, I mean,
Facilities.
personally, I would feel
And
better
not
that way.
have it- not have it extend beyond.
I would be more comfortable with it only, with the parameters only being within our specific town. If we start doing this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 other,
Well,
5
yeah.
other towns.
And you are also starting to impose a land use regulation on the other budding
Right.
community
Yep.
that they may or may not want.
Right.
I would
Okay,
like
so
to
we should
see
clarify
this
that.
Yeah.
removed,
Yeah.
if we move forward to include the industrial garden
Yeah.
park.
And then the other, I'm sorry, then the other comment I had, which I had several meetings ago, and it's still my comment, I don't know if the board agrees or not, but it's still my comment. On the residential, we have a 500-foot buffer, and I've always felt adamant that that should be 1,000 feet. If the church is 1,000 feet, the school is 1,000 feet, there's children, families living within those residential houses, I feel they should also be 1,000 feet.
But that really doesn't impact,
It may have little effect on our map anyways.
Yeah.
But I really feel that the same standard should hold through, I mean, for churches, schools, and people that go to church, people that go to schools also live in residential homes.
The one thing it would do with this map is it would have some impact here.
yeah, it would.
You know, when you're picking a buffer, you want something reasonable, not just something that's punitive.
Yeah, well, but I'm using a logic.
Right.
I mean, I'm not just
Oh, I
picking a number out
understand
of
that, I
the
guess
sky.
I'm wondering about the 1,000 feet. 1,000 feet is over 3 football fields end to end.
By the way, I was, actually, it's one of the things that we discussed, and I absolutely agree with the 1,000 feet buffer zone in the
Okay.
residential. However, that being said, that was when we were basing this on a business district.
Right, and you can't.
Which basically would squash and not allow, which would be against what we need to do.
Right.
So I personally would be okay if we took this area, this adult use, and zoned it strictly in the industrial garden park, be comfortable with maintaining the buffer plate, or the boilerplate, excuse me, of the 500 square feet. If we were to zone it anywhere else,
Right.
I do take issue with that, however I understand.
Right, and
That's-
and it really won't work anyplace else because all your other business zones directly abut a residential zone. So that really takes them all off.
And
the-
this
off the plate.
is Chestnut. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is the majority of our residences. Now, we have a development here that is not shown on the map.
Yes, it is. It's right there.
No,
Oh,
Bluehurst
oh,
development.
Bluehurst development.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, well,
It's all
it is. It-
here with
it-
an-
It is shown because it's one parcel. It is one parcel.
Is that it right there?
Okay, yes, it is right here.
It is one
right
parcel.
here.
So you have the elder, you have like East Village right here, and then you have a smaller development, I don't know the name of it.
So you
Yeah.
would, maintaining this as residential use, if you will.
Yeah.
Allowing an adult use store would still be far enough away that it would not even be visible
Yeah.
not even be visible from any residential properties that I can see, unless I'm missing something, in town.
Yeah, you're right. It would be buried in the industrial park.
So this is,
Yeah.
so you're telling me this is only 500 feet?
Yeah.
This is our post office right here.
This is 500 feet
From
from
this-
here to here,
Okay.
okay?
So add another 500 feet to it, what happens?
500 feet, now we're
Brings it down to
into,
about here.
All right, so that has
And is that, what street is that, Denzel?
That's industrial.
That's industrial, that's where the Arbor's kids are, post office
Yeah.
across the street.
So how do you feel about making it 1,000 feet instead of 500 for residential?
I think I personally think it's gonna be too limiting. That where it's gonna be is gonna be far enough away
Deer
from,
Park.
particularly Deer Park. I mean, Deer Park is right across the street from residential, but it's buried.
It's a destination zone.
It's down the hill behind the woods, you know. I think 500 feet will in fact satisfy the need that we have to isolate it from residential areas.
In the industrial.
And I'm also thinking, if I'm a resident, let's say I live in the Deer Park area, I would love it to be 1,000 feet versus 500 as well. So, I mean, you know, I'm looking at it from trying to follow the standards that we're already going by.
Yeah.
And then in addition to that, if I'm one of those residents that just happen to live on the edge, you know, I would appreciate another 500 feet so that it is 1,000 feet, which is standard with what we're doing with all the other uses anyways.
Well,
So-
if you're going down Shaker, take a right on Deer Park, I don't believe there's a house directly across the street from the entrance to Deer Park.
There is.
Yeah. The closest residence
But how far would
would
that
be,
To the
here?
building, to the first building.
Well, it would, 1,000 feet would eliminate the multi-use building, the multi-tenant building.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
and this is all rear access, it would only be accessible from here. So what I like about the industrial garden park is nothing will be visible
Yeah.
or direct walking path of any other residential property adjacent to.
Yeah.
I think this is the area where it should be, but I'd like to I'd like to have the same standard for all three categories.
Uniformity.
Well, again, the 500 is what's been approved through the courts. I don't know whether we could be challenged on 1,000 or not.
Right.
That's where I'm coming from.
That's the concern.
And if we can make it work with the 500, which I think we can, based on this layout, I would say to go with the 500.
Would you drop them all down to 500?
No.
No.
No, just the residential one. The others have been approved elsewhere by the courts.
Right.
But
Consistent.
and I don't mean to be dominating this conversation, so forgive me on that, but if we're challenged, I understand that we have to, you know, find a place for it, and I understand we have a job to do, and we got to do our job. But if we're challenged, it just seems to me we have a logical reason why it is what it is. I mean, if we pick 1,500 feet, they'd say, well, wait a minute, why are churches 1,000, why are schools 1,000, why is residential 1,500? That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying is, if schools and churches, which are also residents of the community, why should their houses be paying a 500-foot penalty when their churches and schools are not paying a 500-foot penalty?
I don't disagree with your consistency argument at all. I'm just not sure which number I would go with. I think what you have to be careful of, and which town council was concerned with when I spoke to them about this last, is you can't limit them to really only one lot. They have to have, you know, potential sites or something like that.
Yeah, I understand.
If we increased it to 1,000, this is what it would look like.
No,
Oh, no, it would go
no,
here.
no, well, it would go across basically like that, okay? And then it would go like that.
Oh, because this is a church and park area?
Yeah, that's a park.
Okay.
I'm not sure what park they're basing that on, but
Not either,
in
that's my
any
next
case.
question.
um,
Okay. So we would be removing 30+% of Deer Park. We would be entirely removing Denslow Road.
This is not a park. There's no park there.
Deer Park, over here.
No.
Oh.
There's no park
Yeah.
there.
Circle.
Then what is,
That's playing fields at Cordamundi. Okay, but it's not really a playing field. It's a detention basin that the employees sometimes go out and play on.
Behind the bike path?
Yeah.
Or,
okay, where we park the trucks for the parade?
Is that where you park?
Where we park the big guys,
The
yeah.
big grassy area
Yeah.
just to the north of the Carnamundi, it's their detention basin.
Yeah, but don't we go by how it's zoned, not what they're using it for?
Park, there's no
Okay.
zoning for parks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Calamande is zoned for residential, I mean,
No,
for
for-
industrial,
yeah,
not
industrial.
for, so if they happen to have a ball field there, well, so be
Yeah.
it. It's still a residential, I mean, industrial
Industrial
zone.
zone,
Yeah,
exactly.
But that's not how it's worded.
Yeah.
You're wording it from any park or recreational facility or something like that.
No, it's park, and parks are owned by the town, which would also exclude,
Calamende.
not include the playing fields at American Saw. Okay, those would also not be common, but the high school covers that
Okay, but
area.
would it cover a playground at a Montessori school or something?
No,
Private.
It's not owned by the town.
they're owned by the town.
Okay. So someplace you're gonna distinguish that?
We should say municipal park.
It does not, but
Well, we should,
you should.
okay.
Yeah.
So that.
Can't be
that-
private for profit.
So how does it impact Arbor's kids?
Well, Arbor's Kids is private for profit.
Right, that wouldn't matter then.
Would not. if-
My kids go there.
Yeah.
But I just have to, you know.
It would not, and they are bussed in or driven in, nobody walks there.
So is there,
There's all ample fencing too.
is there a reason why you're limiting it to just municipal playgrounds and parks?
Yes, because we have control over them.
I'm not sure what that means.
What it means is that American Saw could decide tomorrow to put up another building on the playing fields,
Yeah.
okay? Or they could decide to put another playing field in. You know,
And usage changes too.
Yes, that is true.
We could have.
whereas
yeah.
municipal parks do not change usage. They're protected
Correct.
under state law.
Right. So it seems that you're being a little bit selective in terms of which kids at which schools you're trying to protect with this buffer as opposed to others.
No, it has
No?
nothing to do with which kids, okay? It
Well, the
had-
kids that go to a private school would not be covered, and the ones that go to the public would.
Because private schools come and go. Dance conservancies move around on a yearly
Yeah.
basis.
Yeah.
Ann Arbor Kids could be an industrial building in 2 years.
Yep.
Producing products.
Yeah. I'm just not sure I've heard of that distinction used before.
Well, that's.
I understand your
Yeah.
logic.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of works against what I'd like to do, but at the end of the day, I can't have my cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I think if it's 1,000 for churches, schools, it should be 1,000 for residential also. And private parks have to fall within the zone they're located within, because there may not always be that use.
Well, okay, if we go with 1,000, we've got a large number of properties in here that, we have Deer Park, we have a good deal of Denslow.
And we're removing this, if I'm
Right.
not mistaken.
Yeah, good deal of
No,
Denslow.
I want to revisit that.
This area here is now a
That's,
solar
Right,
farm.
right, it's all open.
Yeah,
I want to revisit that.
Right, this is solar,
right. This is municipal. That's the school bus place.
yes, okay. So, Denslow,
That's been,
excuse me, Benton Drive.
yeah.
We are far removed from any residential, and
Yeah.
there are vacancies in a number of these areas
Yeah,
with ample parking.
right.
Um,
And Denslow.
And Denslow.
And there are a number of places there that, there's a building over here that changes tenants on a yearly basis.
Right, it would remove industrial.
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 Yeah, it basically. removes
And limit
industrial.
Deer Park.
Yeah.
Those are the only things that I'm seeing, unless I'm
Yeah.
missing something.
And by eliminating industrial, you, to a certain extent, protecting at least the front end of Arbor's Kids. And the back end of their place is heavily fenced because they don't want people watching the kids.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
You can understand.
And by putting further property lines in on Deer Park, you're also eliminating the residential adjacent too.
Right. So we have, I think I'm hearing a consensus that we want to go to the industrial park. We can make it work with 1,000 feet from residential. So let's go with.
Only in the industrial
But
park.
only in the industrial, but it's a place.
Mhm.
We can go with that. And we need to revise a few things to make sure we say municipal parks.
Yep.
And we need to revise to say that But I think we have a consensus on this, okay?
You wanted to revisit the Long Meadow
Yeah.
buffer zone here.
Yeah, I really don't think we can distinguish, I mean, between East Long Meadow's kids and Long Meadow kids. I think that's almost being hypocritical, so.
It is being hypocritical.
You know, and so if it means we wait another 2 weeks to finalize this and someone makes a call to Long Meadow and say, geez, here's our issue, what do you guys
Well,
think?
Sounds great to us.
If we
That's
leave-
not gonna happen.
if we leave-
But I mean,
if we-
come on.
If we leave that in, it still leaves plenty of parcels where they can locate, so leave it in,
Yeah.
okay? Okay, I think we've got a consensus now that we're in the industrial park, we're 1,000, 1,000, and
Well,
1,000.
I don't know whether Deb agrees or not, and I did, if she wants to give me your feedback.
I
and try to
have,
convince me
I have
otherwise.
2 small children.
Yeah.
I'm all for protecting
Yep.
all the areas surrounding towns. I just don't know whether it's in our authority to include another town into our zoning bylaws.
Well, let's get an opinion from town attorney on that.
Say one thing and we're doing something different.
Well, let's get an opinion from town attorney as to whether or not we can restrict on what's going on in an adjacent town.
And you know,
But
we're
it
really,
won't really necessarily restrict it. It's not going to prevent somebody from Long Meadow coming in and putting a park right on the town line, just
No.
because you've
Yeah.
got your buffer zone for East Long.
No, it would prevent any future establishment of the adult store type
Subsequent to that.
coming into
That's
that
correct.
particular area, and that's where I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
if our legality is valid.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to determine that. So let's ask town attorney for an opinion. Okay, we've got a consensus on the other issues, 1,000, 1,000, industrial garden park for the zone. The rest of it, except for a couple minor amendments, is pretty straightforward. Let's write it up that way and vote on it at our January 2nd meeting.
We're
I
about
like that.
1,000 feet across the board, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay? And see where it gets us. And then we'll have to send it to town council anyway, where it can be re-examined.
Yep.
But at least we're moving it forward.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that we can defend and something that will satisfy the concerns of the folks in town.
I like it. If we can leave this in, I'm all for it. I'd just like to make sure that we can, or
Let's
not,
make sure it's
either way.
legal. Yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
And so I think reaching out to Long Meadow is not a bad thing.
I can call Walter Gunn and talk to him.
Just,
See you on Thursday.
Well, I'm sure that they would
I
be
will.
for it, as if we would too.
So
I think,
if we can,
I'm looking for,
yeah.
you know, Long Meadow, I'm assuming
sure.
would be for it.
I'm
It's more of
gonna
the
see, I'll see
legality.
Walter on Thursday and talk to him about it. Make sure we're on
If
the
we
same
can do
page.
it, great.
By the way,
Let's
I
do
want to say nice job getting someone to put this map together.
Oh, that's very
Yeah.
nice.
It's a very handy
Thank you,
tool.
thank you, Larry.
Very.
Good.
Actually, that would be Denise.
Denise did.
Denise did
Denise.
Yeah, good, good. Okay, is there any other business to come before the board? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn to Center Square?
So moved.
Have a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay.